Just proud of our football team. All week we talked about finishing regular season the right way, and got to be a man to do that. And they prepared the right way, practiced the right way. We sure didn't start the right way. The competitive composure, belief in the guys around you, just kept fighting, and flipped the game there in second quarter and early third. And just defensively, I thought we did a great job bottling him up all day long, handling the run game, and really limiting their pass game until the late drive in the fourth. And offensively, after the turnover early, settled in the ball game, and maximized our opportunities for the most part. Just a good football game, special teams, some things that we can do better. But again, you just look at the work that these guys have put in. Really proud for them to go finish and play the way that they did here. And it's a good team that we just got done playing. You look at their scores against some of the best teams in America. Didn't realize that. And great way to finish the season. Really proud of our guys.
Questions. We'll start with Austin and then go to David.
Josh, you referenced the start. Do you think it helped you?
Not exactly the way you would design it.
No. Do you think it helped because you have such a veteran team in a lot of ways that those guys just weren't, they weren't altered?
I think this team as a whole, one of its greatest strengths is its competitive makeup and the resiliency and the ability to just go play the next snap. And, it's something that we talk about. We try to emulate throughout the year, not just during the season. But it's a mature group of competitors, and certainly our veterans, our older leaders operate that way. But our young guys have that competitive mindset too. It's one of the strengths of this football team. It's really special.
Josh, you knew everybody talked about the stakes that were here today. Did that make the locker room just now a little different from even some of your other wins that you've had, given what y'all accomplished?
It finishing the way that we needed to and that we wanted to, always is sweet. And these guys earned the right for this to be a big game. They went out, they took it. You got to take it as a competitor when you're in the arena. It was a lot of fun inside of that locker room. Absolutely. Can't wait to get back and see the rest of our guys.
Adam, then Austin.
Josh, you talked about that competitive composure. How do you think going through the balanced SEC schedule sort of conditioned your guys? There's a lot of games you guys didn't play.
It's not balanced. It's hard.
How do you think playing those tough SEC games conditioned your team to win games?
Best league in America. Every road game is a real road game. It's hard to win at home or on the road. The depth of this league. Everybody's got bigs up front, first two levels. They're long, big, explosive. Hits are real. I already said it, but road games are real inside of this league. It's hard to win, and the totality of the season it's different, and it's a special group to be able to handle the ups and the downs, to keep competing, to push forward, and to finish the season the way that we have. Really proud of these guys.
Josh, has there been a game this season where overall the team's depth was tested more than this one, with the number of guys who went out for a while or didn't come back? Or
I think this one was probably tested as much as any that we've had.
Austin, then Mike.
You should talk about Dylan Sampson. He set the single season rushing record today, and just kind of the guts that he runs with.
I don't even know if I have the right words to describe D. Sampson and what he means to our team, just as a player and as a leader. But I don't know if anybody's played the position better than he has this year. He's special. He's dynamic. Plays great without the ball in his hands. And talk about guy, when the ball is in his hands, making things happen. Dynamic plays, muddy 3s and 4s. That guy, he's special, man. He's played the position this year as well as anybody I've ever had.
Josh, that 10-play, 90-something yard drive right before halftime, how important was that to kind of set a tone for the rest of the game? And what did you like about Nico specifically on that drive?
Yeah, I thought with everything that had transpired early in the football game, being able to push back on that and go execute and make it tight, and then being able to flip it there at the end was huge. And you know, Nico, I just thought played really well throughout the course of the football game. He had the one throw that he'd like to have back that was a pick. You know, he just flattened out the throw, but man, he played really well today. Decision making, you know, our tags, down the field throws, checking it down when everything was sinking out. I just thought he saw everything really well today, and then had the ability to scramble and make plays, which is a part of his game. Had some huge pulls in the run game off of edge defenders. Just played really good football today.
Being up front and then Patrick on the right.
Josh, what do you see from Brazel today? What do you think allowed him to maybe take a step forward today?
Yeah, it's a guy that throughout the course has had a little bit of ebbs and flows, ups and downs, but man, I just feel like he's right on the brink of being what he's capable of, and you know, it's a credit to him, the investment that he's made, opportunity today. I thought he just did a really good job of winning the one-on-ones, understanding coverage, settling down in zones. Him and Nico were on the same page. I thought, you know, Chris played extremely well, but all of those guys really did, you know, and really good job by them all day long.
Josh, along those lines too, Mike, with stepping up with Brugo being out,
Yeah.
Dante going down, what do you say about the freshmen stepping up? Building to this point all season.
Young guys, you know, we talked about young guys having to be ready. Mike's a young guy that, man, did a great job in spring ball, then gets hurt and missed too much time in training camp, and he just had to battle through that a little bit in the early part of the season. Been super consistent and a really good practice player, and I knew, like, on, you know, the last 2-3 games, like, you can just see it coming, and it's a credit to him to just keep investing when it's not necessarily exactly what you thought it would be, and understanding that, man, there's still a lot out there for him, and he played really good football today. Everybody's going to see the balls that were in his hands. There's a couple of things where, you know, coverage didn't take Nico that side right away, but I thought he did a great job. And then he played without the ball extremely well. He had some big-time perimeter blocks too that I thought he executed extremely well. He's a tough-nosed kid, man, highly competitive, and got a great future in front of him.
To the middle with Trey and Vince.
Hey Josh, you kind of talked about it earlier, but look at the 14-0 hole. There's been times this season when it comes to the offense where maybe things have gone a little stagnant, but then you guys come back and you go 33-7 run at one point. What does that say about the veteran guys in your locker room on that offensive line?
Yeah.
Especially even lifting up somebody like Nico, you know, maybe at times missed a pass or two, but just overall.
Man, a quarterback ain't ever going to be perfect.
Right.
Best ones I've ever been around. Guys that have won Heisman trophies and guys that, you know, should have been in New York City that weren't. Man, they don't ever play perfect. I think I was the only one that ever played it perfect. Right. But quarterbacks, like, to me, you grade them based on how they respond to the most critical situations, and when it's not going well. And that guy's a warrior, fierce competitor. And you guys have heard me say it all year. He's just going to continue to get better. The veteran guys, their competitive composure, their ability to just go play the next play. It's a tribute to who they are. Yes, they've impacted the young guys that way too, but that team room, it really does. It's got elite competitive composure to just go play, and some of that's their makeup, some of that's the belief in the guys on the other side of the line. And I'm talking about the other unit that we have. Like, we know we got good players. We know we're going to play. At some point, we're going to dig in and play well in all three phases. So it's a special part of the makeup of this team, and proud of those guys.
Josh, what can you say about Jermon McCoy's interception on his back in the end zone, and he's kind of making a habit out of those interceptions in the end zone?
Yeah, great players make great plays, and Mod, just he's a playmaker. His best football's still in front of him. I don't know what I'm saying, but great athlete that's continuing to grow in the fundamentals of the position. But his wide receiver skills, as a high school guy, I think are a part of his makeup as a DB. When the ball's up in the air, he doesn't panic. He knows how to go and attack the football. He understands body position. Just an elite player.
Steven and Austin.
Josh, that last drive that you guys had before the end of the half, and the first drive to start the second half, just how big it was to kind of set you guys up for the second half, to 90 plus and 75 yards to finish those drives.
Yeah, we had a few possessions where we were backed up, for different reasons. The punter had banged the ball, and today some of them just got on the ground. We weren't in a position to catch it. They got friendly rolls. I thought, the end of the first half, finishing it, going and getting 7, and then starting fast in the third quarter. It's what happened to us early in the football game. It flipped, quickly, where you're on the wrong side of it, and then we were able to flip it back. And the drive was an extended drive, drained some of the clock. It just changed the way the game was played down the stretch.
You go back to August, and you and then your assistant coaches kind of echoed your sentiment about, the long season. You got to be able to rotate guys. How much more prepared do you think this team is because of the added depth you built throughout the year for this run here?
It's something that we were intentional on the first half meeting after the bowl game last year. Just talked about that we've got to play more guys, and some of that I've never really talked about it, never made an excuse for it, but when we got here, I think our first spring, 55 scholarship players, 28 scholarship reductions that we had to take. Like, there's a growth to what we were going to need to do as a program, and intentional in growing those young guys, giving them opportunities early, making sure that we have the depth that we have. That's our coaching staff, our young coaches. It's everybody in the building investing in those guys, and then it's those guys understanding that it's a process, it's a journey to getting to where you need to be to play championship caliber football. It's a credit to those guys for continuing to invest. And obviously, we're a much deeper football team, and there's not enough words to describe how much that's meant to us in this conference schedule.
Last one to Joe.
Josh, what does it mean to be in the playoff, assuming you're in at this point?
Yeah, it's the next step for us as a program. And when I say that, you look at what we've been able to do since I've been here, especially the last 3 years, including this one. There's an expectation from our staff and our players. It was a goal, but there was an expectation to be in this, and that comes from the work that everybody's put in and who we have in the building. And proud of these guys for executing and putting us in a position to be there. Now the next season starts. What are we going to do with it?
Right.